Hello, hi everybody. It is Carla Metzdorf. I am admin to the group Overcoming Anxiety for Stressed Out Moms Who've Had Enough, and I'm also an anxiety coach. I am on here today to talk about anxiety and the gut, how anxiety can influence the gut and the gut can influence anxiety. So as you come on, say hi, let me know who's on with me. I'm going to actually just go into the group and I'm going to go see in the group who's coming on because I don't always see the messages on my phone. So if you have any comments or anything, just put them there. Oh, I did see it. I'm seeing comments today. Last time I couldn't see the comments. Shanika, I saw that. Hey, how are you? Brittany, I see you. I'm seeing comments today. Oh, this might actually work today. Missy, hi. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. I am talking about the gut today, our gut health. This is so important. Hi, Tina. Hi, everybody, as you come on. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're all well. Our gut really has a say in what we feel, and the mind-body connection is just so important. So let me see, I don't see myself in the group, but I do want to see that. I want to make sure I'm appearing in the group. I'm not seeing it. That's not good. All right, let me see what happens here. How are you feeling? Meaning, how am I feeling? Oh, I'm feeling great. Hi, Victoria. I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm not seeing anything in the group, but I'm seeing all of you here. Then that means a lot. As you come on, say hi. More and more people are coming on. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. So let's talk about the gut, the mind-body connection. You hear me talking about it a lot. It is so important. Overcoming anxiety is more than just talking to yourself differently. It's more than that. You know, it's more than breathing and doing tapping and calming yourself down. There's so much that goes on inside your body. And I really want you to get a good idea of what I'm talking about. Last week we talked about hormones. So if you did not get to see that, please check out the live I did on hormones, because this kind of goes hand in hand with what I'm talking about today. So that will help you to know that. So catch that. And I don't know, Facebook is freezing on me. This is weird. Never really freezes on me. So hi, say hi as you come on, ladies. There I am. Now I see myself in the group. Okay. So we are great. Okay, I just want to make sure I get everybody's comments and everything. All right. So ladies, let's just jump right into this. So you heard me talking all week about bugs, right? Hi, Alla. Bugs in your gut. And I hope that I didn't scare any of you, but it is true. We have bugs in our gut. They're called microbiome, and we have trillions of them. But these bugs are the bacteria, viruses, and fungi that live in your gut. And what is your gut? We think our gut is just our tummies, right? We'll say, I have such a big gut. But our gut is not just our stomachs, right? Our gut is also our intestines. So we have the stomach and we have the intestines, and most of these microbiome live in your intestines. So the microbiome, what they do is they help with immunity, metabolism, and they make a film. They protect your gut lining, all right? And also what they do is they help with digestion. So when your food goes along the digestive tract, it helps to break down the food, and the nutrients are sent into the body. And it also makes those neurotransmitters that will also be put into the body, such as what we talked about last week. We talked about GABA, serotonin, dopamine, all of these that play a role, right? That play a role with anxiety, right? We talked about that last week. So that's microbiome. So, but what's the importance of this microbiome? I mean, I just told you what it's about, but how does this, like, how do we get anxiety from this? And how does our anxiety give us like bad bugs in our stomach? So let's really jump into that. I'm excited to talk about that today. It's really going to help you understand a lot about that mind-body connection. As you come on, say hi, everybody. So when we're stressed, all right, so stress is just something that I'm going to talk a little bit about the anxiety cycle here. So stress in your life, all right, is something happens, it's an event, a happening in your life, and you decide what it, you give meaning to it, okay? You give meaning to the things in life with your thoughts, the way you're thinking, the way you see it, the way you know it to be, right? We give meaning to things. We become stressed out about. Now, regular stress is fine. It's okay to have some stress. Stress is inevitable. However, it's the chronic stress, okay, that we're talking about that gives us anxiety. So what happens is we have this nerve in our body, right? This nerve is called the vagus nerve. That goes from the back of our heads where the skull meets the spinal cord and it runs through our body into the gut, all right? So the vagus nerve connects the brain to the gut. The vagus nerve is mainly part of the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, the parasympathetic nervous system is together with the sympathetic nervous system. When we become anxious, the sympathetic nervous system is set off, all right, and works with the brain to send out that SOS. The stress hormones, the chemicals are put into our bodies. The parasympathetic is for the calming down. So the vagus nerve works with the parasympathetic to calm everything down. But when we have those stress hormones in our body, things get disrupted. Our body goes out of whack, all right? So that vagus nerve gets overstimulated. It's not working as right. So it's sending out the SOS to the brain, but it's also sending signals into our abdomen, okay? So our body is getting ready for fight or flight. We know what fight or flight is, right? So things happen in our body in order for us to take action. And one of the things that gets affected is our digestion. Is everybody with me so far? Everybody understanding what I'm saying? Anybody need clarity on anything I talked about so far? Everybody's good? Put a 1 in the chat if so far you're with me and everything is being understood. Just so that I know. Otherwise, I'll let me know what you need more clarity on. Everybody's clear on what I'm saying? Can I have a 1 for clarity? I'm not seeing 1s, but if you need more clarity, I need to. Good, you're good. Okay, I see 1s. Good. Thank you. Okay, great. All right. So now, it's part of the vagus nerve. Okay, as I said, even though it's part of the parasympathetic. Thanks for all those 1s, ladies. Thank you. It's part of the parasympathetic, but it's also part of the enteric nervous central system. And I mean, central system, the nervous system, the enteric, ENTERIC. So in other words, the vagus nerve what it does is it provides information into the gut from the brain, but it also takes part with digestion. So we'll eat something, right? But when the stress hormones come into play, our digestion generally slows down, because what we want to do is we want to be able to take action. So it slows down so that we could like run for our lives. I can't listen right now, but I definitely have a leaky gut and suffer from bad anxiety. You know what? I didn't say it yet, Patrice, but we all have gut issues, which is why anybody who's got anxiety has gut issues. And I'm going to actually say that later. But Patrice, if you need to go, go. And there's always the replay. There's always the replay. As you come on, ladies, more and more of you coming on, say hi, okay? We're talking about the gut today, anxiety in the gut and anxiety, how they affect one another, all right? So it slows down digestion, right? Because we're getting prepared for the fight or flight. Now, what you eat and how you eat, hi Terry, will affect the gut, right? If you eat too fast, too slow, eat too much, too little, what you're putting in your body, too much sugar, too much fried foods, too much, it can mess everything up. We know that. I'm sure you all are aware of that. So what happens is, now our stress hormones, just to backtrack a little bit, just in case you don't know, stress hormones are made through the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands are part of the sympathetic nervous system, all right? That I said before, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, they work both together, but they have to be working in harmony in order for us to be that homeostasis scenario. But once the vagus nerve gets triggered and sends that SOS out to the brain and the gut, the sympathetic takes over, and that's where the stress hormones come into play, okay? So now our digestive system is kind of out of whack, and if we don't have good digestion, it may be out of whack anyway. However, so what happens is, if you are somebody who has a lot of stress, all right, you have bad diet, you smoke, you take like antibiotics and other medications, there's the environmental factors that could go into there, things like that can affect that microbiome, okay, your gut flora. That's going to get affected, okay? We have good bugs, we have some bad bugs, but when our gut gets affected, because now we have these stress hormones, and now what happens is the vagus nerve is overstimulated, and it's the main highway. Think of it as a highway between the brain and the gut. When it's disturbed, it's not communicating as well, right? So those signals, those messages are not getting across as well. Okay. So what happens is, when you are anxious, stressed, anxious, depressed, a lot more those good bugs that we have in our stomach decrease, and the bad bugs will increase. Now, when that happens, it is said that we have gut dysbiosis, which is basically a fancy term for the imbalance of the bugs in your gut, okay? It's off. You have more bad than good. But unfortunately, when you have gut dysbiosis, it wreaks havoc on your body. And before, one of you moms was talking about leaky gut. Now, leaky gut is when you have more bad bugs, all right? The body, like I said before, if you heard me say this, the microbiome, okay, one of the functions of it is to line the gut. Keep the gut healthy, line the gut. But if it's not working right, we get holes in our gut. right? We get holes. So the bad bugs, okay, the things from the bad bugs, like waste from the bad bugs, the gut lining gets these holes, and the bad bacteria, the bad bugs escape, and they get into our bodies. But the thing is, they're not recognized. They're not recognized by our immune system. And what we do is we get inflammation. Now, I'm sure you all have heard of inflammation. And inflammation is basically your body's response to when your body has like an injury, a trauma, an injury, when something is in your body that's not serving it well, your body will become inflamed. And that's your body's way of trying to like repair itself. But the thing is, the more of these bad bugs, the more inflammation. And the more inflammation, unfortunately, the sicker the body. So when you are very anxious, depressed, the more stress you have, the more of this inflammation you're going to feel in your gut. That's why a lot of us will get that gastrointestinal issues, such as SIBO or SIBO, however you want to say it, SIBO, IBS, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, GERD. I've had that. And when you get these issues in your body, it causes more anxiety. Why? Because we feel the symptoms of it. And what? We don't like symptoms, do we, ladies? We don't like symptoms. We don't like it. When we feel like we can't breathe some of these symptoms make you feel like you're going to have a heart attack. So when we get these bad bugs and they leak into our bodies and we have this high inflammation, we get these things that happen to us. Okay? Now these are things that are coming from our gut. But we also know the vagus nerve goes to the brain. So in the brain, okay, unfortunately, those bad bugs could get into our brain. And what could happen there? What can happen there is you can get disorders like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. See, what happens is it affects the production of neurotransmitters, not just in the gut, but also in the brain. So things, again, like serotonin and dopamine, the happy hormones, the hormones that, help us to have pleasure or, make us feel rewarded in life and give us motivation. They're all impacted. So, but these are also hormones that help us with our mood. They help us with our mood. So again, we know when we're anxious, what? We get irritable, right? And it will impact our mood, our memory, how we focus, right? So this is why gut health is super, super important. And this is really the connection of anxiety to the gut and gut to anxiety. People with anxiety have a higher amount of the bad bugs that send inflammation to the mind and to the body. And I know this is not exactly what you wanted to hear, but this is why understanding the mind-body connection is super, super important. So, how do you know when you have this gut dysbiosis? What's your body? Besides symptoms, okay? We know causes, or I said it before, the stress and how and what you eat, antibiotics, and other medications, environmental toxins, and alcohol use, and all these things can destroy your gut, okay? But what are some signs that you can look at that are going to say, hey, the gut's not too healthy? Do you have to wait until you feel anxiety to think that your gut is unhealthy? Well, no, because there are certain things that could be going on. So, how is your oral health? So, if you are somebody who gets a lot of cavities, gum disease, your gums bleed a lot, you may want to look into helping your gut. How's your skin? You're getting a lot of skin rashes and acne? That could also be a sign of an unhealthy gut. A lot of bloating, lots of gas. Now, ladies, burping, farting, we all do it as human beings, right? I mean, we get embarrassed with some of these things, but we all do it. But believe it or not, there is a healthy amount of burps and farts. I don't know the number, but excessively is actually not good. I don't know where that fine line is, but excessive gas, burping could be the sign of something. And changes in your poop. Poop, believe it or not, should be a certain way. If your poop does not look in a certain way, it could be the sign of something. So that could be something you may want to look into. And also, I'm cracking you up. I'm trying to keep it together myself. But listen, I'm trying to help you out of here, Julie. Okay, so discomfort and pain with urination. How's your discharge? I used to get a lot of vaginal discharge. And come on, we're all ladies. We could talk about this. So, all right, I'm just thinking of Julie right now laughing at me. Okay, I used to have a ton of that. And I used to go to the gynecologist all the time, like, what's all this discharge? And they would come back, oh, you know, they would like want me to put like, oh, maybe it's a yeast infection. I would like try to take medication for yeast infection. And what were they? Probiotics. Probiotics, too much probiotic use, another reason why your gut is off balance. Been on a lot of probiotics in my life. So my gut was very unhealthy. So these are things to look for, okay? So let's get into, first of all, before I go on, so far, everything that I said, some of you came on at different times, so you're going to have to catch the replay. But, you know, I really explained, you know, from stress to getting, okay, good, Kim, I'm glad you could relate. Thank you. But I explained from like the time you're stressed to the time that it affects your systems and it gets into your gut, and you know, vice versa, what a unhealthy gut is going to, how it's going to affect, let's say, your brain and give you more anxiety. So, any questions so far into anything I just said before I go on? I'll take some questions like right now before I go on, because this could be confusing. And I don't want anyone to be confused. I try to speak in very layman's terms because I'm a layman myself. I am definitely no scientist here, just a mom trying to explain the gut. What do you think about fasting? Oh, good. Well, we're gonna get to that. That's my next step. We're gonna talk about naturally how to tweak all this. Very helpful. Is there something we could take to help work on the gut? Okay, so we're going now into what I'm about to talk about. So why are you feeling nauseous sometimes? Shanika, well, I mean, nausea is a sign of so many different things, okay? It could be what you're eating, or maybe you're not eating enough. It could be because of digestive issues and intestinal issues, or it could be the anxiety. I mean, it could be because you're pregnant. It could be because of just so many, there's like diseases and infections and sicknesses that's a symptom of. It could be the medications that you're on. I it's hard for me to say why you're nauseous sometimes. But my biggest guess is whenever the body is not getting what it needs. Okay, listen. Symptoms? Yeah, I know. Okay. Well, we ruled out one thing, Shanika, okay? But symptoms. Let's just talk about symptoms for a hot second here. Constipation makes you nauseous. Fine, but that's part, okay, of the gut, right? Because the intestines are part of the gut. It's part of the process. It's the food not being processed as it should. There's a disruption, all right? So that can make you nauseous, but everyone's different. I mean, I've had constipation in my life and I've never had nausea out of it. So I don't know, like we all get symptoms differently, but let's talk about symptoms just for a hot second, as I said. So what I want to say about symptoms is you got to know your body, okay, and what's normal for your body and how your body feels, okay? And when your body feels something, okay, it usually is trying to tell you something is off, something is wrong, something needs your attention. Now, I'm not saying you need to be alarmed. I'm not saying to overreact. And all I'm saying is never ignore symptoms. Never think this symptom just came on all of a sudden for no reason. There's always a reason. Always, always, always a reason for a symptom that you feel. Now, understanding why it's there, that's a whole different thing. I can't get into that right now, but your gut and how it's being taken care of could be one of those reasons. So if you want to know if that's part of it, all you have to do is ask yourself, what am I eating? Do I smoke? Do I drink? I think jelly beans went right through me. Do I have excessive sugar in my body, Terry? Yeah, like jelly beans. I know 'tis the season, right? Easter's coming up. You might have, I plan on having chocolate. I don't know about you, but I'm eating chocolate. But the thing is, just know your body, know your limits. This is not about shaming. This is not about, you don't have to. It's just, if you're someone who has excessive eating of sugar, let's just say, cut it down. I'm not saying you have to cut it out. I don't eat a lot of sugar at all. I don't eat cane sugar at all. And unless it's given to me and I'm not aware of it, I don't eat cane sugar at all. If I eat sugar, it's natural sugar or some kind of alternative sugar, but let's not go off on a tangent on that. But just know your limits, okay? So, but let's get into that. How do we naturally, okay, fix our gut? Because if you go to a doctor, there's not much they can do for you. They're going to put you on probiotics, which is not bad. I mean, you could definitely go on probiotics. I'm on a probiotic for sure. But there are probiotics out there. I mean, you got the over-the-counter probiotics that are, I don't know. I mean, you have to understand what you read on labels and make sure that you look at ICUs and strains and you get enough of each. You want to pick a really good probiotic that covers enough of bacteria that's going to help get more good bacteria into your body. So otherwise, all right, let's talk about, because I know this is what you're all waiting for. So first one is what you want to do is let's just this is not easy, ladies, for some of you. Smoking, all right? Smoking's not going to help with the gut. But if you can reduce the amount of cigarettes and keep reducing, or stop smoking, and if you haven't started to stop smoking, I mean, I know you're trying to stop anxiety. Now you gotta stop smoking. And I know that could be anxiety producing, or maybe you're smoking to help your anxiety, but that's not needed either. If anything, nicotine will make the anxiety worse. So another reason why for you to stop smoking. Stop smoking. You're drinking, alcohol use, alcohol. I know with anxiety, you feel it calms you down. Some of you will even say it helps you to sleep. Anxiety will induce insomnia. It does nothing for your anxiety. It's a very, very, very temporary fix, okay? And it's not good for your gut. Now, I'm not saying you can never, ever, ever drink alcohol again. Don't send me any hate mail. You know, I still drink a glass of wine here and there, but it's here and there because I am very aware of what it does to my gut. So all I'm saying is, if you're going to do it consciously with the awareness of what it's going to do for your gut and anxiety, all right? And drug use, all right? Some of you are using not over-the-counter drugs. I mean, even the anxiety medications can affect your gut, but some of you are using the illegal drugs. Those are not going to help with the gut. All right. The next thing, environmental toxins, okay? So things like, and I started talking about this last week a little bit because environmental toxins, okay? We have a lot more of them in the environment than our ancestors did, okay? You know, I'm not going to get super into it because that's a whole other topic. But, I mean, the way our food is grown, the pesticides that are used, the stuff that's in our water, fluorides, and, just toxins that are in the air. There's more smoke in the air now, there's more automobiles on the road. Even the clothes that we wear, ladies, I know we didn't think about this a lot, but our clothes are made with some fibers that are plastic, right? And the thing is, I bought a jacket. Oh boy, that it's made of recycled. It's made of recycled like plastics in the lining, okay? And I thought, oh, how cool! And it kept me really warm, and I got a good sale on it, and it was this designer jacket that I got such a great sale. And then I'm like, oh, Carla, what did you just do? You bought plastics. And now, like, I'm wearing it every once in a while, and I'm like, oh, God, please tell me this is not wreaking havoc on my body. What did I do? So, but they're saying the clothes that we wear, ladies, are made with unhealthy fibers that are actually corrupting our hormones, which is why I believe I mentioned it last week. But we have the hormones that affect our digestion, that affect the way the vagus nerve works and how the gut health works, and increases our anxiety. So also the makeup we wear, our makeup. So when I started my health, to optimize my health, my gut health, and to, after I started, I was overcoming anxiety, right? I wanted this to be long term. So I didn't just stop with what didn't give me anxiety anymore. Like, I wanted to really understand, how to do this long term. So I did things, Kim, perfumes. Absolutely. Like, I don't wear perfumes, ladies. I'm stinky. But I do shower. Speaking of shower, I got rid of the bar soaps. I use soaps that are clean ingredients. My shampoos, my soaps, the toothpaste in my mouth. There are no like harsh chemicals. I'm learning more about toothpaste, and I'm actually thinking of getting rid of the ones that I even presently use, and you know, they affect hormones. I have autoimmune, and autoimmune has gone up a lot over the years. Why? Because of a lot of the chemicals that are put in our foods, in our products, in our clothes that we wear that affected our hormones, and our immune system can't keep up. More inflammation in our bodies, which is why we're getting, I mean, we know from what I've said to you in the past, more autoimmune, the gastrointestinal diseases and whatnot. All these things are giving you more anxiety because more symptoms, right? So toxins, the makeup, right? Like lipsticks. We eat our lipsticks, ladies. We eat lipstick. Yeah, we do. Do you notice how you put lipstick on and then by the end of the day it's gone and you have to keep reapplying? Yeah, you eat. Yes, you eat, which is, it probably gets on your food as you're eating and you're getting, but there you go. I have lipstick on. There you go. You lick your lips. You know, it just gets into your body. Your foundation, I mean, I don't wear foundation or blush or anything like that, but I wear eyeshadow, I do wear mascara. All my makeup, okay, I buy the purest makeup I can find. Like no glutens, no harsh chemicals, anything like that. Okay? I buy very pure ingredient stuff. Yes, it might cost more money, ladies, but if it's going to really help, it's going to help you balance hormones and balance your gut and get your anxiety levels down, isn't it so worth it? Just think about that. Goat soaps, essential oils, natural, yeah, absolutely. I'm changing so many things in my house. So, and the thing is, okay, so we talked about, you know, the smoking and drinking. We talked about environmental toxins. So let's talk about the greatest thing of all, stress, because it's something no one here can say that they don't deal with, right? We all deal with stress. It's inevitable. But as I said in the very, very beginning, we got big stress, we got little stress. We can deal with little stress. We can deal with stress in our lives, okay? We don't have bodies that are that wimpy, that a little stress and we're like, oh, you know, like this, the chronic stress, okay? When it becomes so chronic, okay? Deal with the stress in your life. You're not all dealing with it, and you know how I know that? Because if you were dealing with the stress in your life, you wouldn't have so much anxiety. Anxiety is a hormone. It's that is telling you that it's warning you that you are under stress, that you've got to take care of yourself. It's that warning signal, that sending out an SOS. Something needs to be nourished. Something needs to be changed. So when you're anxious, your body's under stress. Deal with that. Okay. Diet. Here we go. Now, ladies, I'm not gonna tweak your diet. All right. So basically, what we want to do is we want to eat foods that are prebiotic, probiotic, and inflammatory. Anti-inflammatory, because as I said, anxiety, stress, anxiety, depression, more inflammation, right? You want to have an anti-inflammatory diet, probiotic, prebiotic. Now, just examples. I'm not going to get very into it, because these are things that you can either look up yourself or, hey, ladies, you know, when I work with you as a client, if these are things that you know that you need help with, I mean, I go as far as I'll make up a menu for you. You know, I'm also a health coach on top of a life coach. And I would love to help you tweak things in your life, your lifestyle, so that you can fix the gut and help your immune system become healthier. So let's talk about prebiotics. You know, I'm trying to think of prebiotics right now. Why can't I think of prebiotics? Oh God, prebiotics. Do I have that written down anywhere? I do have a, oh God. Okay, that's embarrassing. I can't think of a prebiotic. Why can't I think? You know what? I'm mixing prebiotic with probiotic, and I don't want to get the food wrong. I do have it written down somewhere. I'm sorry. Prebiotics. Dietary. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So a lot of your fruits and vegetables, okay, are very prebiotic. All right. So a good variety of fruits and vegetables. Variety of fruits and vegetables. Now, probiotic is largely fermented foods, all right? And these are more of things like miso soup, sauerkraut, yogurt, you know, just to give a few that will help. Or you can take a probiotic supplement, as I stated before. An anti-inflammatory diet. So you want to control the inflammation in the body. You don't want to produce more. The more inflamed you are, the sicker the body's going to be, right? So we know sugar, not the best thing. Not the best thing for our bodies. We want to, like I said, we were talking about this before, you don't have to eliminate it 100%. That could be hard to do. I actually went cold turkey. I was having a lot of sugar and I went boop and I got rid of sugar. And you know what I noticed? All that, I mean, for those of you who just came on, you're going to be like, ew, what is she talking about? But I used to get a lot of discharge, vaginal discharge. So this is going to sound funny to you. A lot of that discharge that I got went away. Yep, it just went away. My skin cleared up a lot. So watch the sugars, processed foods, you know, the things that you know of that are really bad for you. You know, eating processed foods are really bad, like, you know, like hot dogs and sausages and deli meats. Big no. Saturated fats, because yeast is fed with sugar. You got that right, Lisa. Absolutely. But I apparently had a heck of a lot of it. A lot of it that the doctors were trying to treat it with antibiotics. And guess what? Antibiotics can really make your gut worse. So it wasn't really helping. But sometimes doctors, you know, they don't think of that. Whenever you're taking antibiotic, ladies, it's helpful to actually take a probiotic along with it. So what kind of diet is like? Eat a very healthy diet is like what you hear, a Mediterranean diet, right? Mediterranean diet, which is basically how I eat, because I don't eat a lot of meat. I don't eat fish only because I don't like fish. Not because it's not healthy, I just don't like it. Fish is good. You know, lean cuts of meat. You can eat turkey and chicken and so the other thing that I want to talk about is also now sleep. Yes, I know you're anxious, you're not getting a lot of sleep. I have a whole couple videos about sleep because that and anxiety go hand in hand. But ladies, getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep, the recommended sleep, is going to help with your gut as well. So don't get upset about this. I'm not sleeping so much, you know, because getting upset about the the amount of sleep you're getting, if it's not 7 to 9, is not going to make it better for you, you know. Don't get upset about it. Just take measures to get as much sleep as you can. If you don't understand how to do that, please watch my live trainings about sleep or get in contact with me, and I will help you to understand how to sleep better. I will work with you with that. And exercise. I saved the best for last. Haha. I love exercise. I love to talk about exercise. Exercise helps with so many different things. It'll help you with the anxiety. It helps get more of those better neurotransmitters and hormones in your body. It balances things out. It helps with the sleep. It, to me, and you'll always hear me say this, exercise to me is an antidepressant. It's better than an antidepressant. And as a matter of fact, I've been on several antidepressants. It numbed, or I shouldn't say that, it masked symptoms, but I never overcame anxiety with it. Exercised regularly, guess what I did? I overcame anxiety. Nothing like exercise. And ladies, no, I'm not saying that you have to all of a sudden be able to do burpees and push-ups and pull-ups and, you know, or you got to run miles. No, we start small and slow and we build up over time. And I think that's it. I think I covered it. I hope I didn't leave anything out because it's a lot. It's a lot, I know. But ladies, listen, if you have a very unhealthy gut and you know it, and you've been working on getting it optimal and you're having issues with that, I got anxiety with exercise, and yeah, that, look at my live training about exercise. I actually talk about that. That's not uncommon. So look at that training, and that will be explained in there, okay? So if you need help with your gut, need more help with the mind-body connection, understanding anxiety, how the mind and body work together, and why you get anxiety. If you're not getting this, or if you did and you're still having so many problems dealing with the symptoms and implementing the information, please get in touch with me, because I do have programs that can really, really help you with this. I meet you where you're at. If your main issue is sleep, I'll help you with your sleep. But we'll also get into exercise, because I know exercise is great for sleep. We'll talk, we talk about what it is that I feel you need to overcome anxiety. But if you feel you need more help with eating, more help with your gut, this, that, I can help with that as well. And I can help you shop for foods. We can do the shopping online together. It all works together. It's not like, as I said before, you don't just focus on thoughts. Thoughts are very important, because what is held in your mind, what you tell yourself, is going to make things worse, okay? But I'm talking about what's causing it, what is making it happen. The thoughts is what's keeping you in the anxiety cycle. But when we work together, you'll understand that more. Okay, ladies, are there any questions? Any questions whatsoever on anything that I said? Or do you have, any questions regarding the mind, body, and I'm actually more the gut and anxiety, anything like that? Anybody have any questions? Was everything good? And ladies, if you came on at the end, please watch the replay. The replay will explain so much more of everything that I said, okay? And you'll get a much better idea of what I'm talking about right now. And if you can, rewatch this several times, because so much good information in here. And also watch my live about hormones, because that will help and go along with this as well. So ladies, if there's no questions at all, I'm gonna go. And for those of you who are watching the replay, just put your comments, your questions, put them in the comments. I will read them and I'll get back to you. Or you want to message me, that's fine too. So ladies, be well, take care, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye ladies. Bye.